भगवान श्री योगीराम सूरत कुमार की जय। सर्वं योगीराम सूरत कुमारार्पणम्। Our grateful pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagavan. For this one more grand opportunity to be able to submit the Nama lotuses at his feet. Now today, we shall have a glimpse of how this grace works and what wonders. We have been seeing day after day after day different leelas for different devotees in different circumstances. It's unfathomable how this grace works, how much work it has to do and bring about the necessary changes. Bhagavan often used to say, this beggar's work is connected with the whole cosmos. If this beggar has to bring about a change in the cosmic level, so many things have to change at so many levels. It would take time and a lot of effort, because according to the cosmic plan, things would go on. And if one should bring about a change in the course of things, one has to invoke this grace, and this grace has to do a lot of groundwork, because everything is linked with everything else. This is what Bhagavan used to say. Now here is a very interesting story, a true story of his glory, especially the Nama's glory. Muthulakshmi Venugopal has been coming to the ashram now for a few months, every day, to join us in the Nama Sankirtan and to listen to the satsang. She told me the wonderful story of how she got her daughter married by sheer pure grace of Bhagavan, Bhagavan's Nama. She was working in Punjab National Bank at the time, and her husband was a senior scientist in ISRO, ISRO. Their first daughter, Subhashini, a brilliant girl, was studying so well, but as a mother, Muthulakshmi was very worried. The star of Subhashini is called Moolam. This particular star, for any girl child, is not generally approved of when it comes to marriage, because they say if such a girl of this star is married into any family, it would be harmful to the father-in-law. So generally, the bridegroom's people would be hesitant to take a girl of this star into their family. Muthulakshmi was worried, understandably, and she started to try. She knew that her daughter had to study and a long way to go, but then she had to find the right bridegroom, especially for this particular star. So every day she would sit, after she came back from the office, she would go through the matrimony sites in the internet, and she would try one after the other, the possibilities, but always in vain. She was really frustrated, but she wouldn't easily give up. She, the mother, was very naturally worried, and she kept on telling her daughter after she finished her graduation that she should not go abroad. In the meantime, the girl studied her MTech, the IIT, and got a gold medal. Such a brilliant girl. And she was planning to do her PhD. But in the campus interview, she was selected in the Blue Scholar category and started to work in the IBM in Bangalore. So you can imagine how brilliant she must be. But then she could not help applying to some universities abroad because she wanted to do her PhD. And from 5 universities, well-known universities in the States, the invitation came to her to come and see and then choose. The girl went all the way to those universities. When she came back, she had more money than what she had spent. Her husband, Muthulakshmi's husband, he saw the struggle the mother was going through, his wife, and knowing the brilliance of his daughter, he being a scientist himself, was telling Muthulakshmi, discouraging her, why would you do it? Why do you want to spoil her bright future? Why do you want to marry her off so early? Just leave her. Let her pursue her interests. And then, because it was getting delayed, 3 years had passed, Muthulakshmi was stepping into the 4th year of search for the bridegroom. In the meantime, the girl applied for PhD. She went to the University of Texas, Austin, was doing her first year research there. Muthulakshmi started to come to Yogi Ram Suratkumar ashram. Her habit was to visit the ashram. She would go around, pray to Bhagavan, and go back. She also started to chant his name. And soon she discovered how helpful this Nama was. Once she came for 2 days, every time it was just 1 day, but that time she came in 2013, she came and she stayed for 2 days. The first day she wrote a prayer letter and put it there in the prayer box. And the next day she came to the ashram. She had no idea what people would do with a prayer letter and all. She had no idea about the run of the ashram. But when she saw me sitting before the shrine of Bhagavan and reading out the letters, especially her own letter was in my hands, she saw it to her delight and surprise, and she knew instantly that Bhagavan would never let her down, and this time it was going to be successful. That Bhagavan, after 4 years of struggle and search, Bhagavan would definitely answer her prayers this time. So she went back with confidence and started again her search in the matrimony sites. One day, she came across a new advertisement, where she came across the boy who also studied in IIT, had gone to America for research, and the profile of the boy was so good, not only she, but also her husband liked it. This was a new one. This was never there before. This came on the site only after her visit to the ashram, after her prayer to Bhagavan, after she started chanting more vigorously Bhagavan's Nama. She felt this would work out because this is after her visit to the ashram. So she wanted to pursue this, and she rang up to her daughter saying that there is so-and-so, a very prospective bridegroom. He is from the IIT and he was also doing research. And she wanted her daughter to find out the phone number of the boy's father. The daughter said, "Oh, IIT, this is the name. Okay, it rings a bell. Let me see, let me find out and let you know." And she was back very soon. She gave the email ID of the boy. But Muthulakshmi was a little irritated because she wanted the phone number of the boy's father, the parents. That is the proper way to approach. Usually, in the Bharat matrimony, it is free registration, but then they have to pay 3,000 rupees once they find a suitable advertisement to get the phone number of the parents. So she was thinking, why would her daughter give email ID instead of phone number of the parents? She thought she would pay 3,000 rupees and get it straight. But her daughter said, okay, you wait. And then for 1 hour, there was no response at all from her daughter, and Muthulakshmi was losing her patience fast. But around 9 o'clock, instead of the number, the boy's father phoned up. He sounded angry and he said, "What is this? What are you people doing? I gave an advertisement for my son just 1 week back because they said if I give advertisement now, it would take 2 years to find a suitable match. But hardly 1 week has passed. My son is phoning up from the stage saying that he likes your daughter. What is happening? What mantra you have used for this result? We don't like the star of your daughter. We don't want to marry her off to our family." So he sounded very angry, and understandably. But Muthulakshmi assured him that no such thing would possibly happen without your permission, without your consent. So please don't worry. We also would like to see the horoscopes of both the bride and the bridegroom and see if they match well. Otherwise, we wouldn't go into it. So you see, after that, 15 days had passed. And there was absolutely no response from any side. In the meantime, she understood from the father's talk that the boy had expressed his consent. And soon her daughter also phoned up to Muthulakshmi to say that she liked the boy. So you see, both the boy and the girl, without meeting each other, they simply talked over the phone and they had expressed their consent. That was a wonder in itself. Though, of course, the boy's father wouldn't agree easily, and what was more, he was angry. So you see what happened, she would not give up the Nama. She went ahead. She thought, okay, it is the magic of the name. And she wouldn't easily give up. She went on chanting, vigorously and rigorously for those 15 days, even though there was no response. And after 15 days, a letter came from the father of the boy. The whole thing had reversed. The man who spoke very angrily before, 15 days before, has now started his letter with the line, you see, it is all the will of God, Daiva Sankalpa, that we could find your daughter at all as a match for our son. And he said, if not for the divine will, we would have lost your daughter. We might not have chosen her as our daughter-in-law. So thanks to the divine that we found her, and he had expressed willingly his consent. He also said the horoscopes matched. Now she didn't know what happened, how he reversed his opinion about the whole thing. And then soon things began to go fast. So when they fixed the date as March 12th, 2014. In the meantime, the boy and the girl, they had not met at all. Only 2 months after their consent to their parents, they ran into each other in a function of a common friend, a mutual friend, and there the boy's people, father, mother, grandmother, uncle, aunt, every relation, they had seen her there and they liked her very much. So the whole family had happily agreed to the match. Now, the marriage took place in a very grand manner in Chennai. All thanks to Bhagwan and his Nama. And Muthulakshmi was still worried, tensed up, nervy. And she kept on chanting all the time. Her lips were moving. That so much so, the people even asked her what she was murmuring. Was she reciting any sloka? But Muthulakshmi knew that it was the grace of Bhagwan's Nama that was getting things done so well, and she didn't want to give up until the function took place nicely. Now after the marriage was over, she still was wondering how the father changed his opinion. And that's when the brand new son-in-law came, and when she asked him, he said his father had found a girl in the same place where the son was doing his research. She was also employed there, and the father had found the horoscopes also well matched. So he had given his yes to the bride's people. But no formal ceremony took place. He thought it was a good match. But because his son was insisting upon Muthulakshmi's daughter, he wrote to the IIT, particularly a professor there, for his opinion of this girl, Muthulakshmi's daughter, Subhashini. And the professor had given an excellent certificate of the character of Subhashini, saying that you must have done a lot of meritorious deeds in your past birth to accept her as a daughter-in-law into your family. Just see how many changes had taken place. She was merely reciting Bhagavan's Nama and praying, but so many changes had taken place at so many levels. And after the professor's certificate of the character of Subhashini, the father changed his mind happily. Before that, he was very reluctant. But now, after the certificate, especially the sentence that you must have done meritorious deeds to have come across this girl, to accept her into your family, that changed him completely. So you see how the grace works and how much groundwork it has to do. It could bring about a change in the circumstances. It could plant a particular thought in the minds of people. It could work in any way to bring about a certain desired result. But that's left to the divine will, the divine grace. But one thing that we see here, even the search for a bridegroom takes so long, 4 years. So what about search for God? How much more time it should take? How many janmas? How many births it may take to search for something that we like, we desire in this world itself is so difficult. You have to put in so much effort. You have to have faith in God. You have to keep on chanting the name. Do this tapas to get this work done. So just see how much more we have to work if we want to attain God. Now this story I wanted to tell you because there are many, many parents who come to me here in the ashram with tears in their eyes, so worried, so much struggle in finding the right match for their daughter. Now they know what to do. Just keep chanting. Muthulakshmi did not go here and there. She just sat at her computer and looked at those matrimony sites. And if she picked up one, she was chanting. So even while searching for a bridegroom, if it doesn't work out, please know that it is God's will and it's a blessing. If life with that particular bridegroom will not work out for the daughter, then Bhagavan would take it away. So it is still a blessing. One should not worry about it. One should go on chanting the name until Bhagavan settles something nice for her. Someone nice who would keep her happy. So don't hurry, don't rush into these matches. Support all your efforts with the chanting of Bhagavan's Nama and leave the result to Him. Everything else will work out promptly, properly. We cannot arrange things the way He does. All we have to do is make effort, chant the name, and leave everything in His hands. She also says that her second daughter, Divya, she came across a particular advertisement again in the matrimony site. The people, the bridegroom's people, had given the condition that they wanted a girl fair, tall, good-looking, and must have studied in one of the top universities of the world. Just imagine. So she was thinking, my God, my second daughter Divya doesn't have any of this qualifications. And what was more, she was doing only her B.Tech at that time. She was in Surathkal and she was doing only her undergraduation. So much so the girl, Divya, asked her mother, You want a child marriage for me? Why don't you leave me alone for some more time? But Muthulakshmi would not rest until she found the right match for her second daughter also. And somehow Bhagwan's Nama pushed her into this effort. She came across a lady with whom she was familiar already, who was connected with Ramanashram. She liked this particular prospective bridegroom because the people of this bridegroom were closely associated with Ramanashram. The boy's grandfather and the great-grandfather were with Raman Maharishi. She liked the background so much that she wanted to pursue this. But people made fun of her, saying that, look, the qualifications they have asked for, and how could you even think of your daughter matching this? But she would not easily give up. She pushed ahead. It seemed that this prospective bridegroom and her first son-in-law were batchmates. They knew each other. To her great surprise and delight, despite all the conditions they had put forth in their advertisement, those people agreed to marry her second daughter Divya into their family. And very fast things began to shape. In fact, at the end of the same year, in December, it worked out so well that the marriage took place. Even while Divya was studying, doing her undergraduation. Then again, how did it happen? So she inquired her second son-in-law. Look, the conditions you people have put in the advertisement are so different from what my daughter looks. How did you agree to this? Agree to marry her? She was very curious to know. So are we. The second son-in-law replied that for 2 years his parents were looking for some suitable bride with all those qualifications, but nothing worked. So they felt so frustrated, they finally told this boy, you can even marry a foreigner. And that is when Muthulakshmi's effort bore fruit. So you see how things work out. She had the determination to push ahead. She had the strength of Bhagwan's Nama, and the rest were all seen by Bhagwan himself. When you leave something to Bhagwan to arrange, it works perfectly. Once somebody went and asked Raman Maharishi, what about this grace? Will it ever come? How does it come to one person? Raman Maharishi said, there is only grace all the time. The grace is flowing all the time. You should not step in and spoil it. This is what Raman Maharishi said. The grace is flowing all the time, very naturally. Our Bhagwan Yogi Ram Sarat Kumar used to say, there are only blessings and blessings from all sides, all the time, like rain. Learn to receive it. Raman Maharishi said, there is only grace all the time. You don't step in and spoil it. You know, the mind being what it is, a trickster, the brain, always restless, will step in and meddle with the flow of grace, and that it might stop. Otherwise, it would flow very freely. So this is the way we have to learn. The grace is always there, available. You just have to make the connection. How? By chanting His name. It doesn't even take a phone call. You just have to call out inside and you get immediately connected with the divine presence, which is ever ready to help you with every detail. Knowing this, let us appeal to the divinity right in front of us with a ready hand gesture of blessing. Bhagwan, we beg you again and again to step in, to intervene, to free the entire humanity from the clutches of this Rakshasic virus and bring back normalcy to the world. It's been dragging on for so long, and there doesn't seem to be any end. We don't see any light, the end of the tunnel. Only you could provide it. You have said repeatedly you are the cosmic controller, that you run the whole cosmos. Surely the present situation is also your play, your Leela to set right the world which has been misguided. We beg you, Bhagwan, to uproot the fear, the panic, and all the negativities from the minds of people and stop the spread of the disease. Enter the medicine, the vaccine, so that it would work and do the killing of the virus. And Bhagwan, all those great people who are laboring day and night at the very risk of their lives in order to save other lives, please give them protection, protect them. And the economy, the backbone, is suffering already. Only you could provide the necessary lift to that. And please support all the measures towards its improvement. And Bhagwan, above all, we have been repeating this prayer day after day after day, twice a day, for everyone to hear. Please bless us with constant remembrance of your name, the name that gets things done in the right way, with least resistance. And give us the attitude of being instruments in your hand, only in your hand, not in the hands of Maya. And let us be fitting instruments with the attitude of gratitude. Jai Yogiram Sarath Kumar.